In a famous experiment, 5 monkeys were placed in a cage with a ladder in the center, at the top of which hung bananas. Each time a monkey climbed the ladder, the others were sprayed with cold water. Soon, any monkey attempting the climb was met with aggression from the others. Over time, none dared approach the ladder, and the group imposed a law that climbing is forbidden. Then, one by one, each original monkey was replaced. Though no new monkey ever felt the spray, they each learned the rule and conformed. By the end, no monkey in the cage knew why climbing was banned, yet they all enforced it. The behavior continued, absent of reason, simply because that's how things are done. This experiment speaks to a fundamental truth: we, too, often inherit behaviors and beliefs without knowing their origins or questioning their value. We are taught from a young age to accept certain doctrines, to bow to the rules of tradition, and to embrace what has been handed down by those before us. Like the monkeys in the cage, society has its invisible ladder and unseen water spray, conditioning us to obey, to accept, and rarely to challenge. We see this in religion, where generations repeat rituals and uphold beliefs, many of which were born in times and places distant from our own reality. And yet, few dare to climb the metaphorical ladder and question why we believe what we believe. The same holds for war and the atrocities often justified in its name. How often have populations fallen in line, convinced by the voice of authority that the fight is just, without probing deeply enough to ask, why? Who benefits? Why must violence and division persist in a world capable of unity and understanding? The experiment teaches us that mindless obedience can be as dangerous as unchecked rebellion. This is the delicate equilibrium of obedience and critical thinking. We must recognize which rules are necessary and which merely keep us from the bananas at the top of the ladder. To think critically is to disobey the unspoken laws of blind conformity. For as the philosopher Albert Camus said, the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. If we wish to live freely, we must have the courage to be the first monkey who dares climb, willing to disobey norms if they no longer serve a higher truth. In starting to think, we begin to disobey, not as rebels without a cause but as seekers of understanding, daring to ask questions in a world that often discourages inquiry. Rise above the constraints of conditioned behavior. Climb our ladders and ask the questions that matter, even if we fear the water that may come. For only then can we break free from the invisible cages of conformity and help others do the same. Thank you for listening. Nate.